The tensions involving the alliance of Sahel states, which includes the three countries that is, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger with certain ECOWAS members under France, are showing few signs of ending soon. The recent arrival of one of France's strongest warships at the Gulf of Guinea, welcomed by Burkina Faso's immediate neighbor, is continuously sparking debates among Africans and a number of bodies around the world. The reasons as to why France has decided to deploy these battleships near Burkina Faso are confusing everyone due to the tensions between the two former allies. Also, the neighbors' decision to welcome these ships is creating yet more tension with Burkina Faso under President Ibrahim Traoré. But everyone is asking why France has decided to bring its strongest warships near Burkina Faso. According to reports, Ivory Coast welcomes one of France's largest warships currently deployed to the Gulf of Guinea in a mission to fight illegal fishing, drug trafficking and piracy. You have heard it right, a mission to fight illegal fishing, drug trafficking and piracy. This brings in even more questions. Is the matter of illegal fishing, drug trafficking and piracy a major concern on the Gulf of Guinea, reaching an extent of bringing largest and one of France's strongest warships? Hearing the word largest, one might want to know more about the ships France has on the Gulf of Guinea. On arriving, the ship had a detachment of over 300 troops, 60 vehicles, and currently 2 helicopters aboard. But as President Ibrahim Traoré has little trust when it comes to France being closer, the purpose of French warships being closer to Burkina Faso may mean more than mere illegal fishing, among other reasons, which seem to be lighter. A question may come in place. Which type of battleships can France wish to deploy on the Gulf of Guinea amidst ongoing tensions with certain West African countries? L'Étonnerre is one of France's 3 Mistral-class 22,000-ton and almost 200-meter-long helicopter and amphibious vehicle carriers. This kind of warship is one of the most important vessels in the French Navy. L'Étonnerre, meaning thunder in French, is capable of landing hundreds of troops with tanks and armored vehicles on a foreign shore. In addition to its force projection capability, L'Étonnerre has a small hospital unit, comprising 69 beds and 2 operating rooms, the equivalent of a hospital in a French town of 25,000. What do the authorities of Ivory Coast have to say about these ships' presence on the Gulf of Guinea? The permanent presence of French warships in the Gulf of Guinea, alongside the coastal countries, allows us to give a collective response to maritime threats which are complex and cross international borders, Ivory Coast Navy officer Major Yeaman said. On the side of France, commanders also said something about the presence of warships on the Gulf of Guinea. The soldiers will join training with other French troops based in the region to learn from their Ivorian counterparts, according to the commander of the ship Guillaume Tandinit. He also added, "Our French forces are less familiar with the terrain. We are delighted to have the Ivorian soldiers and sailors, and the Ivorian Marine Commandos to be able to help us maneuver better on the ground, which they know better." The stay of this ship on the Gulf of Guinea also declares the seriousness of this confusing mission. L'Étonnerre is expected to stay in Ivory Coast until the 11th of November, according to a statement by the French military. However, the main issue here is the presence of French army closer to Burkina Faso. France's influence in West Africa has deteriorated recently, and it seems it wants to regain its position as a major ally when it comes to its former West African colonies. However, as France brings these ships, the main issue it had to tackle effectively in certain West African countries, mainly the 3 Sahel countries, never yielded much needed positive results. In West Africa, The issue of insurgency, including a number of terrorist groups, is severe compared to the mere illegal fishing, drug trafficking and piracy. France's chameleon nature of assisting in fighting terrorism was looked at by President Ibrahim Traoré and his colleagues a root cause of suffering in the Sahel region of West Africa. The West's approach concerning instability in West Africa has been poor, which rising Pan-Africanists want to change with the assistance from new allies. Ever since President Ibrahim Traoré and his colleagues under the Sahel Alliance turned their backs on France and West at large, rapid changing of previous West's policies in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger has seen the West sinking and losing major benefits it previously had been gaining. Having almost full control over the mining sectors of these three African Sahel countries, in which Western companies have been the leading players, the West has been smoothly reaping big, a thing which isn't the same right now. Russia comfortably operating in Burkina Faso has something to relate with these French warships navigating on the Gulf of Guinea. Russia operating where France was can't just be a walkover transition. Ever since France left Burkina Faso, there have been issues of arresting French spies, with the recent arrest being in mid-August of 2024. Acts of espionage by France on Burkina Faso are showing clear signs of France's need to continue fetching numerous information from the government of Burkina Faso, which majorly has Russia as a major partner. That is why observing French ships closer to Burkina Faso and its African allies continues to communicate more than what France and Ivory Coast say are the major duties of the ships from France. The tensions between Russia and the West can't just be minimized. They are serious, concerning what recently happened. After 3 days of heavy fighting, dozens of Malian soldiers and Burkina fighters were either killed or captured. The attack raised concern that a new proxy war between Russia and Ukraine might be starting in Africa, because Ukraine involved itself in the fight. With the involvement of Ukraine in the war in Sudan and now in Mali, it looks like African countries are in fact getting drawn in and on their own territory. President Ibrahim Traoré is continuing his awareness on France due to the broadness of the matter concerning dismissal of the West from Burkina Faso. Matters concerning security in Africa are widely discussed and a major concern worldwide. Even though France may seem to have left the three Sahel countries, the leaders of these countries are putting a hawk eye on their former ally and colonial master.